that got me a bit shocked. And I would love to share here. So let's talk about all of these AI tools for health coaching. And I'm seeing that quite a lot. And a little backstory, I have a Fitbit. I love trackers. It keeps me focused. At least there is some measurable data, something that I can see how many steps I've made. It checks your sleep patterns. It checks a lot of different things. So it's great data, right? Like we all, well, I'm not going to say we all, I love data and I love to see patterns. And sometimes with health coaching also, and when we're trying to create change, tracking will identify those patterns and will help initiate change. So, if you see a pattern that every Saturday you are not hitting the same amount of steps, then you know that you need to incorporate maybe an activity that will give you more steps on a Saturday. Or maybe the lack of sleep. Maybe there's certain days that your sleep is not as great. Then you can kind of pinpoint what does happen on those days. And I do that with my clients without tracker necessarily, but with everything, right? Like we have to look at patterns. And then when we want to incorporate something new, typically a new routine, then we look at those patterns. But I know I'm deviating and I'm talking about all these things, but I'll get to my point quick. I want to talk about something that happened to me as I found out Fitbit. If any of you are using Fitbit, you probably know that now it's not going to be Fitbit, it's going to be Google Health. Now, I got a prompt saying, okay, the app is going to be different. I switched to their new app because I have had it for years. This is my watch. This is my Fitbit. This is like my third. And I love their product. This is not sponsored at any means. Now, I switched to the new app in my phone and I'm able to see obviously all the different trends. And then something caught my eye. What ended up showing up when I look at that new Google Health app was your personal health coach for $99 a year. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Okay, that's interesting. And I ended up then looking at, oh, but is it truly that you're going to get a coach? And me being a health coach, I was just curious. I'm wanting to know what type of health coach can actually produce it and produce good coaching paying only $99 a year. And then I keep reading further and further and what ends up happening is that it is actually an AI. And I felt a bit deceived. And I don't know if you would feel that way, but to me, advertising something as your own personal health coach, it is implying that it is a person, and yet it isn't. And I am going to write an article, and as soon as I write that article, I'll put it on my blog. But it is a bit concerning because while AI is amazing, everything is run by AI. A lot of people are losing jobs because of a lot of automations and things of that sort. I'm not necessarily against it, but what I'm saying is that if you are going to advertise something, don't advertise it in a way that it lets to believe that it is an actual person. Then in the fine letters, you can see that they would say, oh, well, a real person would actually look at that. It's powered by Gemini and it's giving all of these different information that is not accurate, right? Because AI, as powerful as it may be, still makes mistakes. We know about hallucinations. If you have been playing with any of the AI tools that are out there, it makes up stuff. It can pretty much misinterpret a lot of things. And when it comes to health, it is very delicate. Like, would you let AI diagnose you? Would you let AI run instructions on a surgery on you? Or would you rather have a person that has that sense of judgment? So, those are the things that I was thinking about as I'm filling this up. And yes, you can get a lot of great information from it, but can it have that personal touch? Does it really have that personal touch? And again, I'm not against AI. I use it for my business. It does a lot of things, but there are certain things that you need to have that personal touch. I see clients and I see the change. And even when I was doing all the coaching via text, there was a company that I was doing it and it was heavily on text. The engagement and the value that brings health coaching, the tools about health coaching, what it really is going to help you create change, it goes away. And okay, I have a question. What do you think about the movie Her? It tells you a need of human touch. That's what I believe. I believe that the movie, it tells you that in spite of having that, you can create that bond, but it's based on the need as an individual to have a bond. It is very different. Um, there is even one element that I was talking to a colleague about, just how there is an exchange when you put your foot on grass or when you touch the trees or how the sun gives circadian rhythm. Like there are so many things that while you can have artificial light, there is nothing like the natural light. And you can hear people on the phone, but there is nothing like having a hug from somebody. It is a completely different thing. And we're built for connection. As humans, I truly believe we're built for connection. So the way that I see AI is see it as a tool that can help you process data. It's great to process data. Sort this, look at a pattern. It's great for that. But when it comes to going into deeper thoughts, it is harder. It's the same thing as thinking about therapy or thinking you want to have that human touch. And and I can tell as a coach, there are certain things that you can be saying to me, but your face is saying something different. And with the tools that I have, I'm able to bring light to those things. But if I'm not able to see you, and if I'm not able to hear the tone of your voice, it is very different. And I think it actually hinders. So I actually ended up signing up for it. I'll probably give my feedback. I signed up for like 3 months, a trial period. But what really was concerning to me is not the fact that they're offering the AI embedded in there, because a lot of things are. The biggest thing that I was a bit concerned was the fact that they sold it as you're getting a personal health coach. So it's selling it as you're getting a person, and you're not. You're not getting a person at all with their services. But just wanted to jump in here, share this real quick. And I would love to hear Indigo, I think it's Indig, if you would want to share, how do you feel about AI? Do you think that it can really completely wipe out that human connection or not? Because I personally feel that it can help with the data, it can help with alerts, but ultimately, and that's how I feel, I will still want to talk to a person. I feel like it's not the same. Um, for as much as you want to humanize the tool, it's still a tool, and it makes mistakes. Even with, like, I use ChatGPT and Claude for my business, and I use a lot as we're organizing. Okay, look at all these reports, please sort this data, do this. But ultimately, I make the decisions on what is going to happen. The same thing with content. A lot of people write a lot of content online and they use AI. I use AI to review, to be like, okay, is it cohesive? Am I using the right grammar? Is this spelled right? But ultimately, I want everything that I present and everything that I do to be my own idea. Um, but it just, I think it robs a lot from it. So I would love, I'm going to close this out, but I would love for you to share then later in the comments and let me know, what do you think about it? What do you think about having a coach that is just a robot instead of having an actual coach to talk through anything, not just nutrition, but talk about your emotions, the mindset? There's so much that goes into health coaching and that is beyond the data, right? Because if it was about the data, then we wouldn't need anything or anybody. And we know that we are created for connection, for sure. Okay? Awesome. Bye.